Hello there, you perfectly lovely people. My name is Sarah and I'm reading from 101 Dalmatians. This evening's chapter is chapter 14, Christmas Eve. The Colonel galloped until he saw the Baden's lantern ahead of him. Then he told the cat to get off his back. The minute she was off, he hurled himself at the Badens and bit both brothers in both legs. Seldom can 4 legs have been bitten so fast by one dog. The Badens howled with rage, fear and pain, dropped their lanterns and limped back to Hell Hall as fast as possible. It's difficult to limp well when you are lame in both legs. They never knew what bit them. They only knew it bit hard. Good work, Colonel, said Lieutenant Willow. I'm promoting you to captain, said the sheepdog. Then he gave a modest little cough and added, Oh, by the way, I've just made myself Brigadier General. Meanwhile, the Dalmatian army was swinging along the road in fine style. Though cold, the night was very still. The pups were rested and hopeful. And the fact that a tired little dog could take a rest with the cat pig in her cart made tired little dogs feel less tired. Indeed, Mrs. at first had to insist on the smaller pups taking turns to rest. But progress was not really fast. There were so many pauses while the pups who pulled the cart were changed, pauses while pups got in and out of the cart, and every half mile the whole army had a rest. Still, all went wonderfully well, until they were in half a mile of the village where they were to spend the day. There was a hint of dawn in the sky now, but Pongo felt sure that they could reach the village before it was dangerously light. He quickened the pace slightly and told the pups to think of breakfast ahead of them at the bakery. It was soon after that the cat pig called out, Look! Little painted houses on wheels! Pongo saw them at the same moment and he knew they were not houses, they were caravans. He had seen them once when out with Mr. Dearly and had heard Mr. Dearly say that gypsies lived in caravans and gypsies sometimes stole valuable dogs. Halt! Said Pongo instantly. Could they get past the caravans without being seen? He wasn't going to risk it. Between them and the nearest caravan was an open gate. He would lead the puppies through it and take them through the fields until they were well past the caravans. Swiftly he gave his instructions, which were handed on from pup to pup. We are to keep dead quiet and follow Pongo through the gate. And thus did the owner of one of the keenest brains in dogdom make one of his few mistakes. For in the caravan nearest to them, an old gypsy woman was awake and looking out of the little back window. She saw the approaching Dalmatians and at once woke her husband. He was beside her at the window just as Pongo led the way into the field. The old gypsy woman never read newspapers, so she knew nothing about the stolen puppies, but she knew that here were many valuable dogs. And she knew something else, which Pongo did not know. There was a connection between Dalmatians and gypsies. Many people believe that it was the gypsies who first brought Dalmatians to England long, long ago. And nothing like as long ago as that, there were gypsies who travelled around England with Dalmatians trained to do tricks. And these performing dogs earn money for the gypsies. The old woman could remember such dogs and she thought how splendid it would be if all these Dalmatians could be trained as money earners. Quick, close the gates, she said to her husband. She spoke in a strange gypsy language which is called Romany. The only other way out of that field is through a break in the hedge. I will rouse the camp and we will all stop the dogs there and catch them. In less than 2 minutes, the whole gypsy encampment was awake. Children cried, dogs barked, horses neighed. It was still so dark that it took Pongo 5 minutes to find the break in the hedge. When he found it, he also found the way barred. All the gypsies were there with sticks and ropes. Pack to the gate as fast as you can, he cried to the pups. But when they reached the gate, it was closed. They were trapped. Pongo barked loudly, hoping that some gypsy dog might help them. Many gypsy dogs barked in answer, but they had all been shut up in the caravans in case they should fight the Dalmatians. In any case, they would only have barked in Romany, so they couldn't understand a word that Pongo said. But someone else did. Suddenly, Pongo heard the high neigh of a horse close at hand. And oh, the most wonderful horse! The horse could neigh normally, as well as in Romany. It understood Pongo and he understood it. Horses are nearly always friendly to Dalmatians, partly because of the days when Dalmatians were trained to follow the carriages. This horse was not old enough to remember such days, but he took an instant liking to Pongo, Mrs. and all the pups. If these pleasant creatures wished to come out of the field, nothing could be easier. He strolled up, opened the gates with his long, strong teeth, and swung it back. Out poured the puppies. "Lead them past the caravans as fast as you can," Pongo shouted to Mrs. and waited to see the last pup out of the field. "What a very large family you have, and your wife," said the horse. "My wife and I have never had more than one. Well, good luck to you." He waved aside Pongo's thanks, and then, being a very tidy horse, he carefully closed the gate again. So never did the gypsies, all waiting in the break in the hedge, know how their prisoners got away. Helter-skelter along the road went Mrs., the puppies, and finally Pongo. The pups who drew the pig's cart stuck faithfully to their task. The shut-in Romany dogs heard them and shook the caravans in their effort to get out. Volleys of furious barking came from little windows. "The caravan barks, but the dogs move on," remarked Pongo when they felt they were out of danger. A few minutes later, they reached the village where they were to sleep. The sheepdog's friend, a handsome collie, was waiting to welcome them. "No talk until you're safely hidden," he said. "It's almost light." Quickly, they followed him across the village green to the 3 old gabled houses. The baker was in the middle, between the butcher's and the chimney sweep's. The baker and the butcher and the sweep were all widowers, and as it was Sunday, they'd already gone to spend Christmas with their married daughters, which was just as well. Now, I'm going to finish chapter 2, the second part of chapter, Christmas Eve tomorrow evening. So, go to your bed, snuggle up, and have a great big cuddle. Good night.